Hello, this is a Retired Farm Boy channel. My name is Jeff. Thank you for tuning in to me today. Today's video is 5 things about adulting no one wants you to know. Now, I ran across an article by Dan Gaynor and read the article, and that's what it's based on. And it's a pretty much common sense kind of things, but it's talking about boomers, who are people that were born from 1946 to 1964, talking to Gen Z people, which are from 1997 to 2013. Skipped over a generation there to sort of talk to the ones that are young and impressionable still, and maybe you can get through their thick skulls as well. So the Gen Z people are ages 11 to 27 now. So they're getting into early adulthood and teenage years. So hopefully they can listen to some of this advice and pay attention to it. So the Gen Z people, as we all know, as older adults, they learn in a totally different way than we did. It doesn't mean that we're smarter or they're smarter necessarily. We have more experience, so we still have I consider a little bit more of an upper hand on it. Every generation feels that they are smarter and better than the previous one. That's just natural. One thing is certain though, each generation will age and will someday mock the younger generations. I find myself doing that some, and I sort of kick myself when I do that, because it's like, man, am I old enough to where I'm, acting like my parents did, So you don't want to do that. I feel like I'm not old enough yet to be acting like that, but I do catch myself from time to time saying things that, are similar to what my mom and dad just, said to me, that were so foreign to them. Us older folks will say things like the younger people don't have a good work ethic. They don't have manners and common sense. Those are the kind of things that you hear most commonly. So I'm going to move on to the list now, and we'll start going down the list and discussing some of the points that Dan Gaynor brought out in his article. The first one is pick up the daggum phone. Boomers can't understand why everything is a text, a tweet, or an iMessage. That's what most people in the latest generation, seem to want to communicate in. So in business, though, telling these younger people, you have to know how to do more than tweet or send an emoji or things like that. You got to be able to talk to people, and talk to people in a professional manner. Talk to people in an effective way so that you can get things done while you're in business. So that's the first bullet that he brings up is, pick up the phone and learn how to talk to people through the phone and in person as well, instead of always tweeting on, texting on a phone. Second one, you have to work to be successful and fulfill your dreams. So here is the one about the work ethic, but if you look around, no matter the generation, you got to network, you got to make friends and acquaintances to grow your career. The most accomplished people, in fact, are the hardest workers. You think of people in the music industry, Taylor Swift, professional sports, LeBron James, people like that. They just didn't wake up one day and have all these songs to produce and all these talents that they can use in their specific sport. They had to work at them and fine tune them and hone them to get where they are. They're very hard working people to have accomplished that level. It just don't come to them that naturally. So if you think of some successful people, most, if not all, are likely considered to be hard workers. You must work hard to get where you want to go. So that's the second point. The third one is something I take a lot of thought into, is do the math. So you need math throughout your whole life. I love math. I loved it when I was in school. I loved it when I was in college, taking advanced math courses, and of course I ended up in the. Sorry about that, my dog's barking. So I ended up in the technology industry, IT industry, and so there's more math. So, but I'm so thankful now that I had to learn the multiplication tables, and I'm so proud that I can, throughout my whole life I've been able to think things through in my mind, and figure out things like taxes. Tips, even when you're in a restaurant, how much of a tip are you going to leave based on, your tab. Just the ability to do math in your head, to me, is one of those things that's above other things. It really makes a huge difference to be able to do that. And also, math makes you be able to make some decisions. So think about that guy that's going to college, and he's racking up all of these college debt that he's accumulating, and he's going to get a degree that's going to be, low paying, at least starting off for sure for several years. And, you hear these horror stories all the time where people have $100,000 student loans, and they're working in a job that might be a $30,000 or $40,000 a year job. So, math, if you think about math in that way of trying to figure out, if you're doing something right or not, it definitely helps with decisions. Next point, learn to do things. Now, don't waste money. Learn to do things yourself so that you don't have to hire somebody to do things all the time. It can be something as simple as sewing a button on a shirt. If you know how to do that, that's a whole lot better in the long run doing it yourself, even though you may be slower than taking it to a seamstress or someone to do those kind of things for you. It'll cost you 10 times more than it would be if you just tried to learn it yourself. Learn how to cook. It's amazing to me now how many people seem to eat out about every meal. And, cooking is something that somewhat has gone by the wayside. I'm not a real great cook. I can cook a few things, but I'm fortunate in that my wife is a great cook and she likes to cook. So it takes a lot of the burden off me, but it's well worth, having her do the cooking. We save a lot of money because we cook for ourselves at home. How to be a handyman around the house. Now, again, I don't consider myself a real good handyman, but if you don't need something to look just pristine or totally perfect, I'm your guy. I can put in a door. I've done that a few times. Changed out a window, screen doors, little odd and ends around the house, touch up paint, painted the walls, all these things that you can do. And if you learn to do these things, it's going to definitely pay off for you in the long run. And the last one I want to bring up is focusing on your health. So once you start working, almost everyone has access to health insurance. Make sure you use it. Make sure you go to your primary care physician and get that annual physical every year to make sure your numbers and all and your blood work is fine. And make sure you're going to the dentist, eye doctor, etc. All the other doctors that you may need to go to, make sure you go to them when you need to. Use that insurance. That's what it's there for. I know, preaching to the choir here a little bit, I worked for many years and had good health insurance, and I wasn't necessarily doing annual physicals every year like I should have been, but I'm hoping that I can tell other people to do it and they'll actually listen to me. It's easier to stop something from happening, obviously, than fixing it afterwards. So, you don't want to wait too long for things to build up and then say, okay, I'll go and get everything fixed. It's not really that simple. And the last thing I want to point out at the end of the article, or end of this video rather, is accept your mistakes. We've all made them. I'm still making them. We've all had our share of them. So, you're going to have problems throughout your life, and just deal with them and do the best you can, and stay on target for what you're working towards. Eat better, exercise, those kind of things are something that you definitely need to make sure you do for your health. But just get in the habit of doing that your whole life, and it's definitely something that'll pay off. Because when you retire, you'll learn real quick that health is wealth. It really is. It's the most important thing you can have in retirement. So, okay, so that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, give me the old thumbs up. If you wanted to subscribe to me, I'd be more than welcome. I'd appreciate you doing that for me. And till the next video, this is Jeff, Retired Farm Boy, signing off.